being back into the house of God. Many have went home. Many, thank God, to stand before you yet saved. That's a blessing. I thank God that I can stand before you and truly say that I truly seek him about standing before his people. God is good. 2 Corinthians 12, 7 through 10. I want to talk to you. Will you hold up or fold up? That's the question to the church. Will you hold up or fold up? Will you hold on to what you got? Or will you lose what you got? Will you add on to what you got? Will you hold up? And will you fold up? 2 Corinthians 12, verse 7 through 10. If you have it, Edward Hubbard, will you begin reading that for us?
And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong.
Thank God for the reading and the hearers of his word. I want to read it to you in the New King James Version. He said, unless I should be exalted above measure by the abundance of the revelation, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I be exalted above measure. Concerning this thing I pleaded with the Lord 3 times, that it might depart from me. Verse 9 says, and he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly, I would rather boast in my infirmity, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmity, in reproaches, in needs, in persecution, in distress, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. When I am weak, then I am strong. Paul never really defined the thorn, the flesh, the thorn in the flesh. I've heard people try to defend it or to define it. Paul just called it a thorn in the flesh. Was given to me. You know why I believe that he did not label it? Because all of us have a thorn that we wish would go away. I think we can go ahead and get an altar call. I believe long as we live on this side, there will be something to buffet us that God refused to move. He refused to move it. We all have something that we want God to heal. We cried about it. We prayed about it. We even begged God. We even fasted. Twice a week. Went on a 40-day fast. Lost so much weight. We fasted for a long period of time so God can take it away. We've been fasting for the last 15 years and it's still there. What do you do when you ask God to do something? And it seems to be, and God seems to be silent. He seemed to be silent. Well, really, he's not being silent. Paul take this bad situation that could have destroyed many people's faith and says, I have made a decision. I have asked God 3 times to deal with this. And 3 times God sent back the same message. My grace is sufficient. My grace is enough to get you through this. I know it got you bent out of shape. I know you feel like you can't make it again, make it no more. I know that they're getting on your last nerve. But God said, I refuse to move it. I have asked God 3 times to deal with this. And the 3rd time God sent back the same message. Paul said, since I cannot get it my way, God won't let me have my way. I would just boast in my infirmity. That the power of Christ will rest on me. Something about the rest. The word rest means to fix a tent upon. The idea that the power of Christ rests upon the suffering believers. Just as the Shekinah glory dwelled in the holy place of the tabernacle, the strength of Christ fixed itself upon and dwell within the believers, filling him with the Shekinah glory of God when he suffered. But the question today, will you hold up? If God choose not to ever remove that thorn. It's not in my notes, but please don't leave your thorn and go get a mountain. Deal with your thorn. Faith is trusting God with or without an answer. Faith is trusting God with or without an answer. Sometimes he will give you an answer. He will give you the clearest answer to your question. But watch this. Then other times he will be silent. Faith said whether or not he answered me, I still believe that he is God and nothing will shake me from my confidence in him. We as a people of God must get to a place. If God tell us no, our attitude will change for the good. If he does not show up, the real issue is not will God do it. The real issue is will you hold up. Paul had this thorn for many years. As far as the Bible said, he only prayed about it 3 times. 3 times. He only prayed 3 times. I can't tell you I just only prayed for some 3 times. I don't even think I can put a number on some things that I've been praying about that God would move from me. But seems like some areas in our life, God is being silent. Paul only prayed about it 3 times. He said, well, God, I am going to put it in your hands. If God refused to move, leave it in the hand of God. I'm going to say something. As the church, as believers, as Christians, we need to learn how to suffer. Hear me today. We need to learn how to suffer because sooner or later our theology is not going to measure up in the Bible. We need to learn how to suffer. Not letting everybody know that you're going through. Not allowing everybody to see it on your face. That Elder Sheila and I just had a disagreement. I'm sitting up here with Elder Pete and Elder Sheila's come in and it's the only spot left for him to sit. He come and sit in there. Elder Pete get up and leave. We as the church need to learn how to suffer. You don't want to hear that word. It's not a popular word. I know it's not a popular message, but this is how we live it every day as a Christian. It takes more faith to trust God when he does not answer you. Take a lot of faith when God don't answer you. You begin to plant up something in your mind. Maybe he's telling me to do it this way. Instead of sitting there waiting on God to give me an answer. Can you believe in the superior judgment of God when you don't have a clue what is going on? When chaos is in your life, can you still trust God? I'm about to move here tonight. When your spouse is cutting up, can you still trust God? When the load is laying on you, can you yet still trust God? When your children are acting up, can you really trust God? Can your children, the one you carry for 9 months, grow up to be a teenager and cuss you in your face, spit in your face, and you're praying that God would change their ways? And it's been going on for the last 3 or 5 years. Can you really trust God, or will you get out of character? Will you hold up, or will you fold up? I know it's tough. It's tough. But if God chooses not to fix your situation, one of these 3 things is going on. God is allowing it to happen. Or God is going to reverse it. Or God is going to sanctify it and use it for his glory. He was using this thorn for Paul's glory. Paul said, therefore will I glory in my infirmity. What is infirmity? A general term meaning all kind of suffering. Paul said, man, I'd rather glory In all my suffering, his attitude changed. Because God wouldn't change his mind. His attitude changed. Are you willing to change your attitude today? Paul said, therefore, I would rather glory in my infirmity, all kinds of suffering, weakness, whether moral or physically. I'd rather glory in my weakness. Paul said, therefore, I would rather glory in my reproaches, whether being ridiculed, insulted, or whatever. How many can take a lot of ridicule? So many can't take correction. Oh, I better get over here. Paul said, therefore, I would rather glory in necessity. What do that mean? In hardship. Hunger, thirst, lack of shelter or clothing or any other necessity. Paul said, I would rather glory in not having to find his clothes. Some only go to church, brother, when they get a new outfit. Why are you happy with your shoes and about the heel leaning down? Can you get happy? Y'all don't like me today. How happy are you when your shoes crook over? When you haven't bought a suit in the last 10 years? When you glory in that? Y'all don't like me today. But this is where we at today. Paul is talking to the church. Paul said, I would glory in persecution. What is persecution? Physical attack, abuse, or injury. Can God allow you to be abused? I said, can God allow you to be abused? Want me to let you in on a secret today? Want me to tell you what the pastor thorn is? I'm not going to tell you. But we must learn how to suffer. If the pastor can't be a good example, he needs to sit his front and look himself down. Because guess what? There is a path. There's a certain pathway for a pastor to go down. I heard you clapping your hand. There's a certain path for the missionary to go down. There's a certain path for the preachers to go down. There's a certain path for the elders to go down. There's a certain path for the ushers to go down. But Paul said, therefore, I would rather glory in distresses. What distresses mean? Tough situations. I would rather glory in anxiety moments. I would rather glory in escapable problems. When you can't see your way, how are you responding? When your back is against the wall, everybody's turning you down, how are you responding? Certain way we got to go through, baby. There's a certain way we got to go through. Sometimes that thorn could be that child that you got out of wedlock. Why? Because the devil see that you're living for the Lord. And he see he can't get you in certain areas. So he'll try to get the closest thing to you, cause them to cut up. And if you look at it as being a thorn, instead of looking at it as an opportunity to pray and let your light shine before them, it's a certain way we got to look at things. We got to look at our trials as being a test. Bishop told us trials and tests do not come to eliminate, but to evaluate. So every time your wife fly off the handle and you get mad, maybe been going on 21 years, but you the one keep getting mad. Maybe you need to change your attitude. Act like you don't hear nothing. Or learn not to ask her that question again. You need to take notes for yourself. Paul is saying we must get to a place that we can say God is God. And he knows the path that we take. He knows me by name. He is working purity in this. He is cleansing me. He is purifying me. He is sanctifying me. Do you trust God even when you do not understand a thing he is doing in your life? Do you trust him when you don't understand what's going on? If he let you go through something, God is conforming you to the image of Christ. Everything is for your own good. Everything that you're going through is for your good. Everything that you are going through is for your good. Back in 1990, I was driving down the street. I said back in 1990, this is 2020. 1990. I was driving down the street. A ball came out in front of the car. And the baby came and got the ball. And I began to talk to the baby. Rolled down the passenger window of the car. Told him to get the ball and play up there in the grass. If I come through here tomorrow, next week, I don't want to see you out here in these streets playing with a ball. Please play on the grass, baby, please. And as I'm still talking to him, put my feet on the gas and begin to drive forward. Wasn't driving real fast, but it was a parked car on my left-hand side. And when I got so close to that car, I had a friend of mine, my cousin, in the car with me. Said, Melvin, watch out. They screamed and hollered. And I turned around and slammed my feet on the brake. A little baby jumped out. And the car ran over that child and took that baby's life. See, that's something happened in 1990. This is 2020. I find myself driving down Lundy looking for a shadow up under cars just to make sure nothing or nobody is hidden behind those cars. That thing has affected me, played an impact on my life. I believe it'll be there for the rest of my life, to be cautious. That's why you won't see me out in the streets doing 120, 190. I don't drive that fast. So I'm letting you know before you even get behind me. I'm satisfied with the slow lane. Somebody told me, man, you just a young man, an old man's body. If that's what you want me to call me, I don't get tickets. I don't waste my money downtown at 201 Poplar because I can't do the speed limit. I believe believers supposed to do the speed limit. I don't know how in the world I got all over here. A thorn in the flesh. If we allow it to work, it will help us. It will help you in your marriage. It would help you in your everyday life. God decided not to move it. Paul changed his attitude. So many backslide when God don't move fast enough for them. So many backslide. So many get out of the character of God. They'll fold up instead of hold on. They'll fold up. I'm tired of going through this. I'm tired. My children cussing me out. I'm tired of my spouse running over me. I'm tired. God telling me to humble myself and shut up. I'm tired. But God said, I refuse to move this thorn. Baby, get tired of yourself. Jesus had a thorn. This cup, I prayed 3 times. There got to be another way. Not my will. God trying to break your will. Your will is in my way. Your will is a hinder to me. Your will is why many are not saved, because of your stubborn will. To deal with your thorn, you need to survive in the church. You got to survive, baby, with your thorn. Don't let your thorn cause you to go and get a mountain. Deal with your thorn. Deal with your thorn. When the believer is weak, he is strongest. By the power of Christ. And the power of Christ is much stronger than all the combined forces of mankind. God glory want to rest upon us. Man, God is strange. I don't think we'll ever figure him out. Let us close. The great need of the believers is to acknowledge his weakness before the Lord. When he does, the Lord pours his strength into the believer's mind and heart. The Lord empowers the believer to overcome and conquer all infirmity and weakness. Will you hold up or will you fold up? It's up to you. Don't allow your trials cause you to turn back on God. You don't need 7 other spirits to come in worse than the first house. Man, do you think I want 7 other spirits to come in me? No, sir. So stay over here while you can. So until we come together again, pray for me as I pray for you. God bless you.
Victory is mine. Victory.